Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're playing around with ink and making marks in our journal. So I'm starting off in my Lifestyle Illusions journal. I'm just starting off with some collage in the background. Quite often when I'm not sure what I want to do, I tend to start off with collage. It's really quick and easy, just some gel medium in the background, tear up what you've got lying around and stick it into your book. For this one, I had an idea. I sort of wanted to work in black and whites, so all my pages, like they're obviously different vintagey type papers, but you know, it's mostly a neutral palette. So I've got a little bit of old text from a wheel. I've got bonus points if anyone can tell me where that dotted paper is from. Some old music, and I think it's someone told me it was a Dutch book. I always used to think it was a German book, but it's a Dutch book. I'm also going in with some white pattern paper and gluing that over the top. That's a really handy. If you've got slightly thicker papers, having some tissue paper to put over the top is a really great way to make sure it's all adhered over the top. And all the corners stay where they're supposed to be. Now, because I've used all sorts of papers in the background, I did want them to have a kind of unison effect or look in the background. So I've just really lightly painted over some white gesso. And I painted it over with my gluey gel medium paintbrush. So gel medium into paint sort of acts as like a thinner. There's a special name for it. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but yeah, it just helps it be that little bit looser and stick on the page. So once I'd finished doing a little bit of stamping, then I got out some black gloss ink and started painting lines on the page in different thicknesses and started doing different marks. Now I'm using the gloss spray because that's basically an acrylic ink. I like working in acrylics. Those people of you who follow my channel, I love it because it's permanent, and once it's put down, it's put down. So I don't need to worry about it, you know, moving or smudging after the fact, and I can add stuff over the top if I fancy or not. Obviously there are lots and lots of different inks. You can do exactly the same with those. Just be aware of the properties of the ink that you're using, I suppose, is the important point, because if you want to put color or if you want to glue something over the top, you don't want it to smudge and move, so just be aware of that. So this is just a really quick way of doing some mark making in your journal, and what I've chosen to do with this is divide up my page, different thickness lines, then put patterns, and whatever I've put in one area I'm going to put in another area. Now usually when I do stuff like this, I will do it 3 times to create visual triangles. In this case, apart from those lines, I've only done it twice. So it's up to you. Set a little rule for yourself. You know, I'm going to practice this pattern 2 or 3 times, or I'm going to have a different pattern in every single area, and see how you go. So I can see, which is a bit hard at the moment, you will see in the close-up, I can still see that collage underneath. I've got these cool lines on top. I then decided it was a bit black and white, so I'm going to add fluoro pink in, because why not? So I'm just playing around with a lot of different brush sizes. You'll notice me changing them. So I've got this really fine brush that can give me really fine lines. I was using the end of brush to make those little dots. I was using a thicker brush, more watery brush, to create the thick lines down the page. So just play around with what you've got, and it's doing pages like this. They may not be the most attractive pages, they may not be the best pages, but they'll certainly tell you a lot about what you can do with the different size brushes you've got, or what patterns you enjoy playing with, or just improving your patterning in your books. So it's a good technique, you know, a warm-up one. It's not the be-all and end-all, but it's just a good one to get your hand moving on the page. Once I'd finished sort of splattering my paint everywhere, then I decided I wanted to finish it off. It still looks very unfinished. So I ended up with one of these little quote cards. I can't remember where this one's from. I think it's from Dusty Rose, an Australian company. And I was going to glue that on the page. But I did decide that seeing I had this neon pink and I'd done neon pink in the background, I was going to colour up the edges. I kind of wish I hadn't now, because it kind of got a little bit lost and it's just this big plonk of pink on the page. But you know, it's a learning thing. I chose to glue it in the bottom right hand corner of the page just because that's a very thick piece of black and I wanted to break it up a little bit. But apart from that, that's finished. No, it's not the finished page. I'm putting in some dots now. Because why not? So I'm just going in, this I think it's Night by Mylene. It's tiny little dots, but it's a really good shading tool. So it helps fill in those little gaps where the splatters didn't go. So here is a close-up of the page. You can see the collage in the background. You can see the stamping. You can see how those lines and the ink shading with a little bit of pink over the top. So have a go. Lots of fun. Good practice page. And as we always know, practice makes progress. Until next time, bye for now.